Hi everyone, this is Mahmoud Sheikh, and from past few videos I have been working on developing a lecturers management system using PHP CodeIgniter AJAX and jQuery. In my last video I completed the functionality of displaying the list of users who are already registered to this application whenever any user wants to search those users using this text box. Okay, suppose if I type J here, then I will get the list of all the users whose name starts with J later. Okay, so if I want to search the users whose name starts with M, okay, then I will get the list of all the users whose name starts with M. Okay, so that's what I had covered in my last video. So, and in this video I will discuss about displaying the complete details of that user whenever I click on this item. Okay, now suppose I type J here. Okay, so now since there is only one user has registered in this system whose name starts with letter J, that's why it has started giving me the details of that Jacob Holland. Okay, so apart from these details, if I want to know further more details about that user, then I will click on this list item. Then it will take me to a page where I will find the complete details of that user. Okay, so if I want to view the personal details, I can view their personal details here. Okay, and then if I want to view qualification, then I can view qualification details, professional details, skills details. Okay, this user has added only one skill into their profile, that's why here only one skill is displaying. So this is what we are going to cover in this video. So before starting this video, I would just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you will get continuous updates of my upcoming videos. Now let us start our discussion on developing the functionality of viewing any user's complete details. For that, first we need to go to our editor. Okay, so here, as you guys already know, that in my earlier videos I had created this search lecturers function. In fact, I had created this function in my last video where I had given a link to this base URL which points to users controllers view user profile, and I had attached the link of the user ID so that anyone wants to view the details of any user by searching that user in this text box. Okay, now let us say J. Okay, now to this list item I have attached the URL which is my project name, starts with localhost / lecturers / user. Let me just show you that. See here, this is the URL which I have linked to this list item. So whenever I click on this list item, I am taking to the user to this URL where the user will see the complete details of that particular lecturer. Okay, so now when I click on this, user will see the complete details of this user. So for that, here I have set the URL, base URL, which refers to the ID of that user. So whenever I click on the list item, I'm making a call to this function which I have created below this search lecturers function. Inside this function, as you guys have already seen, that I'm passing the user ID. So that same user ID I need to receive inside this function as a parameter. Now this user ID I'm passing to this check personal info function to check if the personal info details for that user is already been entered by that user or not. Okay, and here I have made a call to this check qualification info, and to this info function I have passed the user ID of the user. Okay, so why I have created this function? Because this function will check whether the qualification details for that user is already published by this user or not. See here, qualification details has been published and personal details also added by this user. Next, I have made a call to this check professional info function, and I have passed the user ID of that user to check whether the professional information details have been uploaded by this user or not. And then I'm then I have created another function, the name as get user skills. To this function as well I have passed the user ID, and the purpose of this function is also same. Here I am checking whether the skills have been added into this user's profile by this user or not. Okay, so if this user has added their personal qualification, professional and skills details into their profile, then I'm getting these details, personal, qualification, professional and skills details, and I'm storing these details in these variables, and I'm passing this data to view user profile so that I can display those details here inside this view user profile page. As you can see here, now I have logged in as Michael Brown. Now if I want to search user Jacob, and if I want to view the details of this user, then I will click on the list item and I will get their personal, qualification, professional and skills details. Okay, so for displaying these details I have get those details with the help of the user ID of that user, and I have passed these details to this view user profile. Okay, so now we need to create a file, view file, inside our views folder with a name as view user profile.php. That's I have already created. Okay, and in this file I have written the code. Okay. So here at the top I have included the header and then a container and a div with a class row, and I have created a 3-column div to display this card with profile image, name of that user and the subject that user taught, and then the designation and followers and following count. Okay, so for that I have created this 3-column div, and then next I have created a 6-column div, which is this one, 6-column, where inside this 6-column div I have created another div with a class of tabs. Okay, and inside that tabs class I have created a UL for displaying these tabs. Okay, next here I have created a div inside which my all the sections are stored, and sections are personal section, which is this personal section, and then qualification section, which is this section, and then I have professional section, which is this section, and then lastly we have skills section. Okay, which is this one, for displaying the personal, qualification, professional and skills details. So now let us come back here. Okay, so this div started here and that gets ends below this skill tab here. Okay, so now one by one we will see the all the 4 sections. Now inside this main div here I have created another div with an ID of personal. Okay, and then I have created a div for displaying the message, h4 tag for displaying personal details label, which is this one, and here I'm displaying the details of this user like father name, mother name, department. So now here for that I have created another div with a class of form group. Inside that I have created a table with this class. This is a bootstrap class, and a table body and table row. Okay, so I have created a row with 2 columns inside the table. In the first row, I have divided that row into two columns. In the first data tag, I have written father name, and in the second table data tag, I have displayed the name of the father. So for displaying that, I have created a table row and then a td tag for displaying the name of the father label, which is this one, and then I have created another td tag for displaying the name of the father, which I'm getting from the database. Okay, so here as you can see, I'm checking personal data which I'm passing here. So this personal data contains personal details of that user, which includes father name, mother name, department, designation, gender, mobile, date of birth, marital status, and then user file. So all these details I'm passing with this personal data to this view profile, user profile. Okay, and here I'm accessing that data, and in this first row I'm displaying the father name. Okay, so here I have taken an if condition to check if the user has already uploaded their personal data, then I'm displaying the name of the father name, mother name, department, and all other details. What if the user has not yet uploaded their personal data? In that case, I will display this message, not yet added. Okay, so since this user has added all personal data, that's why the name, father name is displaying here, mother name is displaying here. Okay, next I have created the same row for mother name and the same if condition for displaying the mother name, and the same thing I have done for department, designation, gender, mobile, date of birth. Okay, here I have changed the format of the date in the form of day, month, and year. I want to display the date in the form of day, month, and year. That's why here I have changed the format of date of birth. Okay, so here I have displayed the date of birth and then marital status details, and then lastly I have created another table row for displaying the image. Okay, so this is how I have created this personal details section. Now we need to create this qualification details for displaying qualification details of that user, and I already told you that inside this qualification data I have stored entire qualification details of that user, and I have passed these details to this view user profile. Here I'm accessing that inside this qualification section. See, here also I have done the same thing. Whatever I had done in the personal information section, I'm also doing the same thing here. I have created a div with a form group class and a table, then table body, here also table row. Here first td has a label of highest qualification which displays this label. Okay, and the value for that highest qualification is MSc, which is coming from this highest qualification variable. Okay, so here also I'm doing the same thing. Here also I'm checking if the user has uploaded their qualification details, then only I'm displaying their qualification details here. If this user has not uploaded their qualification details, then I will be displaying not yet added. Okay, next, year of passing. I've done the same thing here for year of passing, and then percentage, then college studied, city, and lastly university. Okay, then here I have done the same thing for professional section. As you can see here, professional data also I have passed to this view user profile, and I have accessed the professional details of the user, and I have displayed these details inside these rows: total experience, salary received, and lastly I have displayed the skills details, which you can see here. Okay, so this thing I had covered in my earlier videos. So in this div with an ID of skills and class tab, I have created an UL, and here I am checking with the if condition get single user skill, which is coming from this user controller, and I'm passing this to this view user profile. Okay, here I'm checking if user has uploaded their skills details, then one by one I'm iterating over those records using this for each loop to display the skill level and skill name. Okay, then here this skills div gets over and this div gets closed, which is this one. Okay, now next thing is, okay, remaining divs are column 3, which will come here on the right side, and I'm going to cover that in my next videos. Okay, so this is everything about displaying the details of a user. So here we don't have to write any additional function for interacting with our database, because whatever details we are fetching from the table, for those details we had already created the functions in our earlier videos. We are just making the use of those functions which we had created in our earlier videos, which is check personal info. I had created that function here. See, check personal info, to this I had passed user ID, and this check qualification function as well I had created. Professional function, see, professional function as well I had created, and then get users skill. Okay, so for developing this functionality of viewing the complete details of any user, we don't have to create any additional function to interact with our database inside our user model.php, because for developing that functionality, whatever functions we have used and we have passed to view user profile file, all these functions we had earlier created. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood whatever we have discussed in this video. Okay, so this thing I had created in my earlier videos, which is this base URL, which points to the ID of the user whose details we want to search. Okay, so that's everything about developing the functionality of viewing the complete details of any user. Okay guys, I hope you guys have understood everything whatever we have discussed in this video. In my next video I will come up with displaying the list of users, those who have registered in this system inside my home page, which is this here. So I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks for watching.